so crazy. Literally, there's stuff everywhere, as you can see. I'm getting summoned. Okay.
There's cargo.
There's cargo. Welcome everybody to another episode of Tell Me Everything Frog Girl Fridays. Oh my God, I'm so excited for this episode. If you've not heard me talking about this at all the different conferences I've been out, because I've been on the road here quite a bit. This one is about the California Highway Patrol ride-along that I got to do with the Cargo Theft Task Force. So amazing doing this. What an amazing, amazing experience. If you have not done a ride-along before, it is eye-opening at the amount of work that these guys do, for the amount of pay that they do. I think a lot of people in the industry feel like the police don't really care about what we're going through as far as cargo theft. I've definitely had experiences where I've made phone calls into different precincts. Maybe they're just not educated on cargo theft enough to know what I was talking about, but they would be like, "Oh, where's the freight now?" And I would see it tracking and be like, "Oh, it's here." And they're like, "Oh, we'll call them." I'm like, I can't call every precinct that's they're driving past. Like, that's not how this works. So it's awesome to have California Highway Patrol. So they have their own task force, Cargo Theft Task Force. Look at what they even gave me. Hold on, let's see if I can show this. Do you guys see that? Hold on. What? I got my own little button with their cool thing. This is so cool. Okay. Anyways, so got to do a ride along with them. Amazing experience. And we'll kind of jump into everything. So whenever I was meeting with them, I'm like, "Hey, I'm coming out there to California. I'm going for the Cargo Theft Summit, and I'm going to do another recap on that coming up soon in future episodes." But I was there for the Cargo Theft Summit there with Travelers and CargoNet that they put on. And I was like, "Hey, I'm coming out there. Let's meet up." And so it was funny when I got there. They're like, "We tried really hard to have a warehouse bus for you." And it was a pretty decent sized one that they got. But they're like, they're about to move the freight. We couldn't wait an extra week. So we had to do it. So then they were like, "We're going to take you out on the rail lines," which honestly, I'm really thankful that this is how it went down, because I did not understand the severity of rail theft. This is, I think, something that's really not even talked about. As much as I know about cargo theft, I didn't even understand the severity of rail theft. Like I said, it's definitely not talked on enough. So I'm excited to share this with you guys, go through all the stuff. All right, California Highway Patrol Cargo Theft Task Force. I have contact information. If something is happening to you guys and it's in Southern California or really any part of California, let me know. I do have several other contacts for different areas and different precincts throughout the U.S. that have their own Cargo Theft Task Force. So excited to jump in it. Let's go. All right, guys, we are going to start off with what we did in the beginning of the day, which was some investigative work. He receives a decent amount of reports per day and has to go through each one, see what's tied together, what's not, what can he actually actively stop and try to get the materials back, what is actually leading to other, bad guys, kind of connecting all the dots, weaving everything together, trying to make a big case on somebody. So he's going to walk through kind of one that he just received today. And then we're going to jump into the car and get out on the rails. So excited. Let's go.
This copper case that just came through our emails was a load of appeared to be spooled copper wire that was supposed to go from Virginia to New York. So they were able to provide me with the MC information, ASIM logistics, along with some driver information, some truck information, the plates, owner applied numbers. So we can start working that stuff up. Well, first I would probably start with the carrier information to see what kind of history they have. And then from there, I would start with the driver himself to see if he is a possible innocent driver or if he is involved. If I can't find any information on this driver himself, I start looking into the phone number or his name and birthday, and I can't find any matches. I think it's probably could be a good assumption that it was all fictitious.
Right.
New York licenses, California licenses are the top two fraudulent IDs. And then with the plates, start trying to match the plates up through license plate readers, see if it's on the same tractor, see if they're swapping plates from tractor to tractor. So if we know this is a white tractor, looks like a Freightliner, Cascadia. So if we start looking at those plates and we start seeing that plate maybe on a red Peterbilt, then we can kind of know that, hey, they're swapping plates, and this was all a straight theft and not so much as a strategic theft.
Yeah, and this guy's got the picture of just a piece of paper of the MC on the side, right? Is that what
Yeah,
that
it
looks
looks
like?
like
Yeah.
it's either a magnet or it's just taped on. It's kind of hard to tell in a small photo. Um, but yeah, just going through all this information, going through the BOL, see if anything was altered on the BOL. But since it's probably all from the shipper itself, it's probably all going to be legit for the BOL stuff.
Yeah, so that's $200,000 worth of freight. Wow.
Yeah, and the hard thing with obviously with these recyclables and copper is that it's hard for us to ID it. So there's no serial numbers, there's no batch numbers, there's nothing for us to really, if we do happen to come across this, it's hard for us to say like, yeah, this is the exact stolen load.
Right.
Because a lot of times when they steal this, they're going to repackage it, or they're going to go straight to a recycling location and offload it immediately and get that easy money.
Right.
So these metals they're really hard to work these cases.
You would think the recycling places would be like, is this stolen?
So I will get calls periodically from recycling centers. If a shipping company does drop off a load and they kind of recognize some of the packaging, if they haven't changed it out, there'll be a red flag for them. They'll ID the stuff the best they can, send me the information of the carrier that brought it, and they'll do at least their due diligence on trying to make sure that it's not stolen, because these recyclers don't want to get any bad reputations of taking these stolen loads. They want to be as legit as possible. So they'll hit me up periodically. So we just had a scrap load in San Diego where the driver presented the original bill of lading. And when they saw the bill of lading, they knew the company that it was supposed to be delivered to on, I believe it was Pennsylvania. So they contacted the owner, said, hey, there's a driver here with a load that's trying to drop off some scrap iron. Is this yours? And they're like, yeah, it was stolen. 2 truckloads were stolen out of Arizona. And so we were able to do a sting on that and recover that load.
Crazy.
So that one actually worked out. But,
let's pull up that MC in whatever, like if you can pull it up like in the Mike Airport or whatever you want.
Gotcha. So.
Or you can go DOT in it too.
So we have a lower rating on it.
Yeah, showing unacceptable. And lots of unsafe driving, star rate, like low star rating, blocking. Freight validate. Click on freight validate, go down a bit, and then see where it says view status details. Right there, yeah. So they're not compliant. They're using a UPS store for their address, of course.
So this was a straight theft.
Yeah, using fake info.
Mm-hmm. So when I go and dig into this license plate numbers for the tractors and trailers, they're either going to be a stolen trailer that they're using that's probably most likely unreported,
right?
Or they swapped out the plates off of their unit so that we have a harder time identifying who they actually are.
And then usually, I know you were saying earlier that they'll swap plates, and then as soon as they're on the road again, they'll swap again because they know that we're
so if they go through a scale facility or they get stopped by law enforcement, they want to present as much real true identity as possible because they don't want to get tagged with another felony of providing false information to a police officer. So what they'll do is, especially the sophisticated ones, they'll just use the magnets or the removable access panels on their cab sides to change the identity from the false to the actual true identity. And so it helps them conceal their identity at the pickup location, and then they have the true identity when they're on the road. So nothing's the wiser to law enforcement.
Wild.
So this one will be interesting to dive into and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, and this one they said that they're moving west through Arizona, crossing over into California.
So yeah, we have a lot of recycling centers out here in California. What they'll tend to do is bring it into here. We have one that's been worked up here out in Garden Grove that's been known to take stolen recyclables. So this would be something like I can also go, I can sit at this recycling center and see if this truck shows up. But that'd be a needle in the haystack.
Right, yeah.
But it's just, unfortunately, without any GPS information on it. And if they didn't swap out these plates, I can try and get some LPR reads off of it and see exactly kind of what region of California may have landed into.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just want to see if they made. So they made changes. That's a long time ago. Driver count from 35 to 1. So it looks like they must have sold back in. Yeah, look at all that. Yeah.
So it looks like
March
it went
to
from a
April.
legit large company to now down to a one operator.
Yeah. And then but then look, they changed from 3 to 35. So I know a lot of times they do that for insurance purposes. They'll flop things around. But this probably is whenever this, and I bet it was sold. And then now the new guys are just going to town. I wonder if they have. So we do have one VIN. Does it show the VIN? No.
On here, no, it's just good. But I can run that play real quick and see if that play matches.
This is back in December, but was this the driver's number? No, it's not it.
Yeah, and it's weird too that they have 3 different numbers for the driver. Unless one's the broker, one's the dispatch, and one's the driver.
Oh yeah, phone numbers used. Yeah, I think this is the driver's number.
Yeah.
5.
So those numbers I can run through our database to see if they're possibly burner phones or if they're actually registered to a legitimate person.
Yeah. Like they moved from Kansas to Ohio. That was 2023. So I think this has been sold a couple of times.
So a lot of these trucking companies or these bad actors, they'll go and they'll purchase several carrier names and they'll use them up. So once it gets freight guarded, they'll discard that one or sell it to another bad actor. That they'll hold on to it for 2 or 3 years, and then we'll see it again pop up.
Yeah,
and they'll do another 3 or 4 loads. They kind of just keep recycling them every 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So more fun stuff to look into. Right now, we're going to go check out some areas near the high desert where trains have been frequently hit by organized crews that are popping the seals off the containers when the trains come to a stop, and they are pilfering loads and then selling them off.
Let's break down where I was. So LA's here, obviously. I was around this area, and this is the whole Mojave, I hope I'm saying that right, Mojave Desert. So the CHP guys that I was dealing with, they cover from, and I'm probably drawing my thing wrong, but like here down, all the way down to Mexico and over to Arizona. So really what they deal with, and if you have not heard me talk about them before, it's basically just 2 investigators or 2 detectives or investigators. I'm not sure what their title is, and then a sergeant, and they have one guy ahead of them that's over this entire region. So from here, or I think it's goes like this way, here all the way down is 2, technically really 2 guys, 3, but 2 really that are actually in the field. Now the rail lines, there's the Pacific rail line, and then there's the BNSF rail line. Both of them have their own rail police, I guess is what they call it. And typically, though, there's about 2 officers on duty per shift, and that's covering about 100 miles of very, very, very desolate area. And rail theft is just totally on the rise.
Let's go. There's a cut seal. Crazy. You said you found more?
Well, there was a red one.
Oh, I see it.
So there's a box down there. That's one of the freight shipping containers or boxes. Always has a yellow tape on it.
Here's another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. That's wild. Holy crap.
Every once in a while, you'll see the drive sensors. You like a little square about this big with a electronic marking on it.
Another one. That is, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. So it's got to be like along the whole thing, not just right here.
Yeah.
Like I knew it was a problem, but I don't know. And do they normally do the stuff during the day or at night?
Whenever the train stops.
Oh,
So,
gosh, there's like a whole bunch in here.
So the train tracks, I think these 2 merge. So they have to wait for the trains to clear. Being a load of K-cups too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Milwaukee.
Oh, I see it. Wow. I wanted to show this the amount of time that this train takes to pass us because we're talking about like a mile long train. So how does this happen? Let's break that down. Typically what's happening is at like a port, there's these bad actors that are jumping on, and I'm actually going to show a video real quick. So this took place actually in Chicago. But I wanted to show you guys because it's very relevant to this. So as you can see, I mean, these are completely stopped trains and these guys are just grabbing, looks like a bunch of TVs off of there. Clearly they know which one was marked because it doesn't look like other ones were open, but even over there grabbing it and kind of going from there. So basically what they do is at, let's say, a port or whenever the train is going at a low speed, maybe they're going uphill on a low speed, or there's two rail lines kind of crossing, just like James was kind of talking about. At that point, they have the opportunity, I believe it's going around 7 miles an hour. So they have the opportunity to run alongside it, jump onto a car. And then at that point, they're hitting each car, jumping cars, and even at high speeds, they'll do this. And they will open up seals. They'll cut open. They'll have like the little saw stuff. I'm not naming this right. They'll have the saw thing there to grind off actual like metal or bolt seals. I know that's kind of a question too. Like, why don't people use bolt seals? Well, they're able to take that off too. If there's a will, there's a way. So they are able to, so basically they pop open the doors and they look inside. If they don't like what they see, they'll close it back up and then move on. If they do like what they see, typically they're closing it back up, marking it with a shoelace, and then kind of going about their day. And I'm actually going to show another video here because a lot of people ask, well, what is the rail lines doing about this? Because this is obviously a huge issue. So as you can see here, they have these cameras up, right? And you can see where they've popped open the doors, left them open. So they actually have AI detection now in these cameras where they're noticing, hey, this door's open. It's flagging into an officer's, I don't know, inbox, whatever, giving them that alert saying, hey, this train has been, basically scouted out and probably had cargo theft already happen, or at least they're still on there. There's a lot of different things that they do. A lot of times they're deploying drones, flying them over to see if there's people still on the train, or see if this was kind of a thing that happened in the past. They can fly drones over different parts of the rail to see if they can see freight on the side of the train's tracks, kind of like we'll see here in a minute. But that's why they are now closing these doors back up, marking it with like a shoelace, because that's much harder to see on a camera like this, right? They marked what they wanted to with the shoelaces on the containers that they want. They will, at that point, kind of make the phone calls, let them know what kind of freight they have, sometimes even already sell it before they even steal the freight. They will have somebody ahead of this train make either like a fire on a train. That's kind of like a big thing. They burn down different rail cars and things like that. Or the cut brake lines, airlines. I think that's also what they are. Hopefully I'm saying all this right. Like I said, this is kind of all from memory, but so they'll cut those, trying to get that train to stop. Because once the train ahead of them stops, that means the ones behind them stop too. Everything's backed up. So then they're able to infiltrate on whatever train that they're wanting and go in. Now, as like a rail police, there's X amount of trains going on at one time. How would you know which one is they're hitting, right? That's a difficult thing. So that's why they are relying on a lot of these cameras, but they're not everywhere. This is 100 miles of desolate desert that they're on. So who knows where these guys are at while they're stopped and then grabbing this freight, throwing it off. They got plenty of time. And like I said, this is about a mile long train, or can be up to that double stack. So having a conductor even walk out there and do some surveillance, A, is dangerous for them. And B, by the time they get all the way to the end, they're probably already done.
Shipped out of Vietnam. some sort of electronics and battery logos.
Yeah.
So they'll take off the pallets.
Do they just throw them down here?
Yeah, there's some other boxes down there. There's a lot more over here. Probably find more as we get closer to the house.
Yeah.
You can see where they were breaking down some of the boxes, strapping material.
Yep.
So usually ones with the batteries and stuff, usually those are gonna be like Milwaukee battery, like the batteries themselves, the charging battery.
Yeah. There's a train now.
So here's a pallet. So they rip the whole pallet out, throw it down the side, and just let everything fall down, and they go and collect it all. And what FI Series 3 is, I've seen a couple of boxes. It's a speaker, I think.
I think that is too.
Because this is the Apple Play. Set up your collar. Oh, I know what these FI are. These are the Wi-Fi
for the
dog collars.
Yeah, for the dogs.
Yeah.
I think I saw some over there too about the dogs.
Down there, that blue box. They can see all the boot marks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's not homeless people. They're not wearing boots. It is funny when we're not here. And you do see the homeless people and they're rocking brand new Nikes or brand new Hokas.
Right.
Because they got them off the train. What I could do is, like knowing that that's been taken out of here, I'll do this area, Apple Valley, go up on OfferUp and then search to see if anyone's selling for a large amount of those on OfferUp.
Right. And see if anybody reported it, I guess. Yeah, because that's like a decent amount. So basically, like even while it's moving, they're throwing stuff too, or how is it everywhere?
They will on the other spot where I showed you when we're going up the hill.
Yeah.
That sometimes they'll do it while it's moving, but the only thing is that when they throw it off while it's moving, it doesn't damage a lot of the product. So you need to be slow speed, like when they're going up the hill.
Yeah.
And they'll do it then, or you need to wait for it to stop. So, the stuff that's not breakable, like the shoes, yeah, they'll check that off while it's moving.
Right. Because who cares even about the boxes?
Yeah, no, we'll take the other boxes, they'll just sell that shoe.
Right.
Yeah, I would think this would have been a good hiding spot. There's not a lot. I don't know what that big box was.
That's wild how many of those dog things there are.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the whole container full.
Yeah.
You've got 26 pallets of it. That's if it's not double that. So cranking them. Please don't get bit by a rattlesnake.
What?
Don't get bit by a rattlesnake.
Oh my God. Don't say that. Ah! I don't want to be bit by a rattlesnake. That's more sleepwear, yeah. Oh, wow. Crazy.
All they want to do is they just want to hide it from the train so that when the other trains go through, they don't pay the way they in. They'll let them know that they got hit.
Wow.
But you can see like how they'll just throw stuff over here in the bushes and they just back their trucks up as far as they can.
Oh, yeah.
Load them up.
Wow.
Pallet they broke down, a couple pallets.
Oh, wow.
That's Milwaukee. Well, you can see enough of the boxes. I can tell where they are just by based on the labeling, shipping box labels. So you can see that big pile of boxes right there.
Yeah.
We might, if we drive down there, we might be able to find some more cargo in there. I mean, they have left. There's a bunch over here. Those are Deckers. Deckers is your Hoka.
Yep, there's Hoka over there. Wow, that's just crazy.
Yeah, here, you can get your truck here. Just throw the boxes and just throw it down with the pallets.
That is just
Shrink wrap.
crazy.
More boxes over there, they stacked up. Old pallet over there from a while ago. Can't just go see what that is over there.
Wait a bit. Dang. It's crazy.
So they just bring down the totes, like the big plastic totes,
Yeah.
and then they take the shoes out, put them in the totes, because the totes are easier for them to carry out, like the big duffel bag totes.
Very wild.
All right, you guys, let's talk some stats. This is thank you to CargoNet and Overhaul for providing this information. It is readily available online, so I'm literally just Googling it. But anyways, in 2024, U.S. Railway cargo theft went up about 40%. There's over 65,000 incidents reported, which is 180 per day, if we think about that. It's estimated to be about $100 million worth of losses. And remember, this is wholesale. So Nike, Hookahs, whatever type of freight that they're stealing, they are not just taking that loss, right? They are adding that onto our consumer's pocket. That's why this is so important and needs to be shared about. So if you see this, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's get this out as much as we can.
Literally, there's stuff everywhere, as you can see. I'm getting summoned. Okay.
There's cargo.
There's cargo. Oh, yeah.
So we'll bring these back, give them back to Debbie. She does all Walmart stuff.
So it was pajamas. So Walmart pajamas, definitely not the most hot ticket item out there, not like a lot of electronics and millions of dollars worth, but it's still something, right? 5 boxes that they, I guess, left behind or whatever. So 5 boxes of pajama pants from Walmart. So this was turned back into the BNSF police there. And as you can see here, we turned that back in. And so they were able to at least say that they got the loss. I don't know for sure what happens at that point, whether they kind of write it off, because obviously there's a whole load stolen of this. This isn't just all the freight that they found. So they did take a good amount of it. Now we move down to another area of rail. So not really that close to where we were before. And just to kind of show you that there's still stolen freight here. This isn't just one isolated pocket. This is all over the place. Yeah, we're in one area, like one, so many miles radius, but still, this isn't just like one big hot spot. It's all over the place. All right, so we pretty much wrapped up at the rail line there. I am covered in dirt at this point, and head back to the office to kind of do a little bit of recapping. And I'm going to let James here talk about kind of what their process is and what they do.
All right, so tell me everything that you do in here.
All right, so pretty much we have our case files we get as we do our case studies. So each one of these will have one of our cases that we're working. I have currently 5 of them here. We'll follow everything here. Computer. We can go through all our law enforcement access abilities as far as running plates, looking up carrier information, verifying driver licenses, and searching vehicles and finding registered owners.
Kind of getting your homework done before, because prior to us going out there, as you guys were looking for the house of like the place that we saw, the house of
Yes.
the tracks. So you were trying to look up who the guy was and find his ID, so you knew what to look for.
Yeah, so we try to get a little background history as much as we can before we go out to a specific location, just for safety concerns. We want to know if they have any kind of criminal history, kind of know what we're walking into before we get to that location.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to get an aerial photo, either Google Maps or something along those lines, to where we can kind of see a layout of the land, kind of how we did with the train tracks. We can see where the train tracks run in coordinates with where the property line was, and maybe look for avenues of ingress or egress to where they might be offloading the cargo.
And then you do like your investigative work. So basically you'll take different cases that you get from like CargoNet and then kind of piece everything together too.
So
try to find.
Yeah, CargoNet is a great tool for us. We're able to kind of correlate different thefts to a specific driver or a specific carrier, and kind of make a small case into a big case. So if we can tie a lot of these cases together, we might be able to get something a little more worthwhile that we can present to a district attorney, to where we can actually get a decent filing on one of the. So
because most of the time they're definitely not just doing one thing; they're doing a lot.
No, there's never one and done. It's always they get a taste of it and they like what they get. It's a good reward for them as far as the risk versus how much they can get off of a specific load. So
they just keep going and going, and then usually they have big rings that they're all working together, and then you guys try to find them. And
so we try to start with the drivers and then work our way up. So either drivers are going to have someone that's in charge of them, or it's the drivers that are the sole conspirators or bad actors, and they're just peddling all the cargo themselves out to these fenced locations, either a mom and pop warehouse or a liquidation center.
Yeah. Crazy.
So
it's insane.
It doesn't stop, as you witnessed today, with phone calls and emails and
lots of phone calls all day long. Yeah. Wild.
Busy.
Well, thanks for all you do. You guys are killing it here and making a difference. So
glad you had fun.
I know, right?
All right. And then just like that, I thought the show was ended. And he's like, hey, I have something else to show you. I'm like, wait a second. Let's get the camera back out. So here's the next part. So you just pulled this out.
Okay. So this was out of one of the tractors that we had stopped that was pulling a stolen trailer. The trailer itself had one carrier name that was already on it that was about to do a pickup. And then after we stopped them, seized the truck and trailer for evidence, when we did a search of the tractor, we were able to find new carrier information that they were probably going to use next once the current one they were using got freight guarded. So this was already set up, ready to go for at least 2 tractors that they were going to change the carrier information on.
Wow.
So just easy things for them to scrape off. Also within the tractor, plates. So they're able to swap the plates out real easy. All they do is just zip tie them to the grill. The ones on the trailer, same thing. It's just a couple screws.
Thanks so much for tuning in and watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything as much as I did. Such a interesting topic, rail theft. Next week on Frog Girl Friday, we will be recapping our podcast with the California Highway Patrol, because I actually got to send James out to Orlando at the Broker Carrier Summit, and we went through his whole kind of presentation. If you did miss it, hit me up on LinkedIn. I'll be glad to send you our version through my care portal. We have that on our website, with the, as well as it has some information on all the information that you need when you file a report, like kind of their wish list on everything. And then some contact information. So hit me up on LinkedIn if you need that information. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the things, because we'll be getting into rail theft here soon. There'll be a whole nother series that we'll do. Hoping beginning of next year to kind of deep dive into that. I got to get some contacts. So if If any of you guys are on the rail side or have insight or do this directly, hit me up. I need some people to talk to about this. All right. Till next time. Bye, everybody.